Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's rational to be optimistic? Now, this is a different question than asking if you think it's helpful to be optimistic. I imagine you don't need to be convinced that optimism might be helpful when you're in a tight spot, but is it rational? Like, does optimism make logical sense as a life strategy? Take a deep breath with me and dive into your mind for a thought experiment. Imagine, just for a minute, a worst case scenario. Maybe it's a diagnosis of an incurable disease for you, or the death of your child, or bankruptcy, or the annihilation of your reputation, or planetary catastrophe. Even if it's just for a moment, let your mind fester in this unique possibility it's conjured up. Now, were any of these situations to actually play out and you were placed in its devastating low, couldn't you argue that things must get better? Like, given an intelligent universe with unlimited time and unlimited potential, isn't it guaranteed for things to eventually look up again? And doesn't that prove that optimism is rational as a worldview? Well, yeah, but you could technically use that same argument to justify pessimism too. I mean, if there's an endless field of possibility, then couldn't life also get much, much worse? Couldn't this horrible thing be just the first of many tipping dominoes? Honestly, I think you're right. One could absolutely argue that both optimistic and pessimistic visions of the future are objectively true, insofar as each one is glancing a possible configuration. If heaven is an infinite sky, hell must be a bottomless pit. But if both are objectively true, then which one is more rational? Well, obviously it depends on your goals, right? Like, what are you hoping to feel and achieve in this lifetime? If your goal is to feel more happy and resilient, then it does actually make rational sense to adopt optimism because positive thoughts yield positive feelings. Think about your next vacation and then feel your body as it starts to vibrate at this frequency of anticipating an adventure. If, though, somehow your goal is to feel more cynical and paranoid, then it actually does make rational sense to adopt pessimism because negative thoughts yield negative feelings. Just consider upcoming deadlines and the mountain of work at your desk, and then feel your body, right? Doesn't feel so good. If, however, you claim your goal is to see the world scientifically, realistically, as it actually exists beyond your subjective interpretation of it, then it's best not to go into the future or past at all. It's best to stay in the present moment and avoid judgment, hope, and forecasting altogether. Otherwise, you'll inevitably be projecting your personal story onto everything you see while claiming objectivity simultaneously. Your journal prompt for this week: what is an optimistic interpretation of the challenge I'm currently facing? Cool, that's it. If you haven't checked out my essay Lessons from the Cell, I highly recommend you do so. As far as unpacking the human predicament goes, it goes hard. You'll find that linked here. By the way, next weekend, I'll be hosting my Learn How to Breathe Deeper event online. It's the first time I've hosted this event in a while, and I am optimistic, really optimistic about its turnout. The workshop is going to be recorded for scheduling conflicts, and if money is an issue for you, there's a pay-what-you-can option designed just for you. Basically, there's no excuse not to sign up. Tickets are linked in the description below. Ooh, last thing, if you're interested in talking with me one-on-one about your unique situation, go ahead and sign up for a 15-minute discovery session call with me. I'm a friendly dude and maybe I have something to offer. Doesn't hurt, right? All right, happy Sunday. We'll talk soon.